Well, in previous video, I've promised you to talk about a very important concept. Well, that was when an active user, when creating or submitting an article, so that article will be listed under the article of admins. Well, that article can be shown only for admins, or even we can see that here. Well, this article is published by admin, it means. So it has taken the admin as, well, author, pre-default author. How we can solve that problem when we have some articles as published, for example, as an active user? So this article or that particular article should be listed under the articles of that specific user. Well, it cannot use, or it cannot have all those things like the options to select author, but it should take the user as default. So that's why we are talking about, well, a very important concept in the whole Django, well, mixins. So we have seen some mixins here, like login required mixin. So this is very important because we do not need to, well, verify either the user is, well, authenticated or not. Only this mixin can work very effectively. Well, let's see how we can create our own mixins, how we can use that, or how it can work. Well, in this account application, we will have something like some files like mixins.py file. Well, that's great. Let's have a mixin. Well, a first mixin, it has shown something we do not need. Let's have the form valid mixin. We have a class and we have a function, like we want to have, well, form valid. And let's pause the self and the form, and after that let's check if self dot, well, request the user who is requesting this, well, as super user. What to do? Form dot save. It tells that if the user is super user, if the user who is requesting, well, who is submitting the article, well, if that's, well, super user, just save the form. If not, or we want to have another condition as else, well, by default we have that condition. We tell that if self.object as like form, like save, and let's see the commit is false. Well, let's tell that f object dot, well, author, we want to talk about two specific fields like author and status. Self dot request dot user, well, self dot object that status is self dot, well, this d, just tag it as default, like, well, the default is draft. So let's return this part. I want to return as super. Well, we have talked about this super in Python course, so you have to have a go through there and you will understand what this super means here, well, in the OOP section. Okay, we have the super and the form valid. Well, this is the function which we had, and we, well, return this. So we will return this form. Okay, we save this part and we just import it here. Well, I tell that from this directory mixins import, well, this form mixin. Let me tell you one very important concept. For example, we have like 10 mixins here, okay, and we have some create view or list view or any other view. How we can, well, handle that? First of all the mixins should be listed out here. Like we have the login required mixin, we have the form valid mixin, and for example many other mixins we have. We can add all of them here, and after that we add either create view or list view or detail view or like delete view. We can add that part here. Well, I have followed the rule here. I have added form valid mixin. Well, that's it. We can run this. Let's see the server. The server throws no error. Well, this is a normal user or this is an active user. Let's refresh this and want to have, well, an article. Computer science. For example, I want to have a computer science. Okay, the slug will be computer and the description will be computer. In the description, you can see, like, for example, if sometimes you want to have the full screen of this description part, you can have it from here and you just add any kind of data you want. Like, it is just for testing now. Well, I want to have this, well, a very, very great flower image. Let's submit this article. Okay, wow, the article is submitted and this article is under, well, the article list of this active user. Well, we have the status as draft, we have, well, the description, we have the publish date and the category, thumbnail, well, the title, everything is, well, mentioned here. It is very, very important. So we have said that if any article is published, if the article author is like active user, so it should be like by default as draft. So this user cannot edit this. So it is now submitted to, well, this admin or someone who has this responsibility to check all the articles before publishing. So it has, well, that responsibility. So after checking this, after having all the things here, so it will be, well, published.